I'm here, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca. Ellie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mamas.
So there's another, this happened yesterday. So there's another chat room that there's like 4 other people in.
Oh, okay. Here's somebody.
Yeah,
Christine and
so,
Eileen, I see your name.
Yeah, so there's another chat room that there's like 4 other people are in that, and they think you're gonna join that. That happened yesterday too.
What? How does that
Yeah.
Is that what
Which
happened
one
where we
they're
were
in?
all in and then she wasn't in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like 6 of us in a chat room yesterday, and we're like, where is she? And then we're like, oh, she's in a different one.
Whoa, that's not good. I wonder if it makes different rooms if somebody else opens it or if I open it, or I usually just, if I log on to the Teams during the time when it's about to have a call time, it'll have a join button and I just click join.
Yeah, that's what I do. Let me pop back over to the other one and tell them that you're in a different room. I'll be right back.
Okay, thanks. Wow, how funny. Well, I see Ellie and I see Amanda, or parts of you.
Hi.
Ellie's fingers and Amanda's forehead. Who is the father of physical therapy? We already talked about that in a previous call. I'm just using up some time.
I think it starts with an H.
That's one of the names. Yep.
Okay.
Hippocrates?
Is
that right?
The father of medicine. Hippocratic Oath.
Hippocratic. I was gonna say, I know it's the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, that's the father of medicine, but not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the father of physical therapy.
Physical therapy.
Yeah. Can I bring my book out?
No. Don't
All
worry.
right,
I'll tell you if you don't know it.
I'm back. So that was Amanda and Jada and Tia that was over in the other room.
Okay. Hopefully they'll show up here in a minute. The father of physical therapy started out as making these places called gymnasiums and helping people practice Swedish movement technique. What's that guy's name?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
One of the
we were on the wrong room.
I know you were. I'm sorry. I don't know
Amanda!
It's Swing. It's Swing.
You got her sweatpants.
Yay.
Oh gosh.
Welcome.
She's
got
ready.
the
She's
sweatband.
ready.
Nice.
Okay. I'm ready.
Well, that
to
was the
focus.
gear for the previous video, which when you watch it, you'll want to be having that because you're going to break a sweat, I'm sure.
I saw that. I'm prepared.
Good. But for this video, you probably won't need it, but you might. I mean, you never know. You're prepared anyway. Okay, so some more people might join us. We'll see. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about history stuff. Per Henrik Ling was the father of physical therapy, who started off with the Swedish movement cure in his gymnasiums in Sweden, right?
Right.
Per Henrik Ling. And, sorry, I got an ant. All right. But that's the basis for the Swedish massage we all know and love and we'll get very good at. But the techniques of touching the body in a therapeutic way, rubbing sore muscles and trying to calm people down and help people feel better when they don't feel good by using our hands is so ancient. We really, there's no actual date you could put on it because we instinctively do that when something hurts, right? We just reach for it. So it's probably before we were Homo sapiens that we've been doing that. But for massage therapy as a way people used it medicinally to help treat other people with conditions, we usually say it's about 3,000 years old because massage was happening in China 3,000 years ago, and that they wrote down records about it. So that one we know, recorded history, 3,000 years at least. It's just a natural human response to relieve pain and discomfort. So we have evidence of it being also evolved through different cultures besides the Chinese. So there's written evidence of ancient Japan, India, Greece, and Rome also having massage therapy in some way, shape, or form. And in the Chinese system, the traditional Chinese medicine, Tui Na, which is the modern version of it, or if it is the Indian Ayurvedic massage or Ayurvedic medicine, then both of those have been using massage as part of their medicine treatments for 3,000 years, documented. So in China and Japan, they both have similar philosophy, a lot of overlap with the philosophy that is behind how they view medicine, but they will use different words for it. Obviously, Chinese is different from Japanese, but both techniques have become really popular, and so people know about them and use them. I feel like I need to take a screenshot because of where some of your faces are located. It's like making you have a lower... Okay, that's cute too. But it was like Eileen's lower face, inferior face, and Amanda's superior face were making one face, and I was like, oh, I should have shut up. But I shouldn't have told you because...
Can you see the top now?
Yeah, now it's just the top.
I'm trying to get the perfect angle.
Okay. Anyway. So in about 5,000 AD, or BCE, whatever you want to call it, is when Anmo went from China to Japan, and they have similar points on the body, like reflex points, but in Japanese, the shiatsu points are called tsubo, Tsubo. In China, I don't know like what the Chinese word is, but I know that they are called reflexology or acupressure points or acupuncture points. So there's like 365 main ones on the body, but you don't have to know all that stuff right now. Just let it absorb into your consciousness, because at the end in module 4, we'll go into that in more detail. But both of them are designed to help stimulate the life force and help circulate it through the body. Sorry, he really wants to be held. Okay.
So does excuse me, does that go in with energy manipulation then?
Yeah, that's the life
Okay.
force energy is energy in the body.
Okay.
It's not just the blood and the lymph. It's like all of the life force energy that goes through you and makes you a person. It could be blocked if you've got a trauma that happened on your shoulder and you're holding all the pain in there. It blocks the energy from being able to flow freely, right? So you can see how it would do that. It's not just one system of the body. It's like those overlays where they have a sheet that shows the circulatory system, and a sheet that shows the lymphatic system, and a sheet that shows the muscular system, and on and on and on, and even into like, something invisible that we don't have a good name for in English. Qi. Overlay that, and it's all of those systems together. Something's not flowing here, it's blocked. So in massage, we move that stuff around. Even if we don't call it by any Chinese name, we still do it, right? We can tell there's something inhibited here, something's blocked or restricted or protected. There's been an injury here. I just have all these, a clue or all these clues that tell me something is not right in that area. So then you kind of focus on moving that blockage away out of it. Hippocrates, the guy for which the Hippocratic Oath is named, was a physician in ancient Greece, and he is known as the father of medicine. And his term for rubbing a part of the body, always toward the heart, was anatripsis. The Romans, I think I mentioned this yesterday in our call, was the Romans were super into spa. They loved going to the baths, and they used a lot of water in these big buildings. I've actually seen a couple of them on tours. And it is pretty awesome how they built like these columns on the underneath the floor. So there's a subfloor, and then these columns to hold up the real floor, and then they had water going in underneath the floor, and it was heated water. So they had spa. It's kind of amazing. And they tended to use, our book says, about 300 gallons of water a day on the average for each person in ancient Rome. So from those ancient bathhouse type of spa environments, they would use a strigil. It's like a little blade to like scrape. They'd rub the whole body with oil, and then they'd scrape the oil off, and they kind of take the dead skin cells with it and stuff, rub the muscles. We use something like that today. There's a tool that people buy for massage. It's pretty brutal, but it can be good for some kinds of injuries. It's not that relaxing in general. It's kind of painful, but I'll tell you later when I remember the name. Sorry. It's basically a strigil, but it's a modern one. So I don't know. But there's a metal tool that you use to scrape, and it's really sharper than my finger is. It's little. There were carryovers from ancient Rome into more modern and Roman and Greek cultures that were passed on through the Persians and the Romans and Greeks to give us still a continual appreciation for things like gymnastics and anatripsis. So those developed into later on places like the Per Henrik Ling's gymnasiums and the big ancient American institutions of the YMCA, where it was just a big place for swimming, and then like gymnastics, and people might have massage and all that stuff. It's carried on throughout the cultures, different ways and different names, but people still appreciated it from when it was implemented in ancient Rome. And so we still use gymnastics and anatripsis. We just call them different things now, usually. Not always, but some. So public baths were available in ancient Rome to both rich and poor. Everybody liked to do it. They believed massage improved their circulation, which it does. And there was an ancient Greek physician to the gladiators and the emperor named Galen, and he was kind of known for promoting it in ancient Rome. He used it to help the gladiators and the emperor. So then fall of Rome happens. We North American ancestry to Western Europe, developed into the Dark Ages. So there was a lot more fear and religion that wars that minimized the importance of the self. People were thinking more like we should be aesthetic. The church was like, the body is evil and the spirit is good, so just focus all of it on the spirit and ignore the body. Maybe you should actually hit yourself a lot with things that make you bleed. They were kind of strangely thinking about that back then. So it was kind of out of vogue for a while in ancient Europe, but eventually, after it was abandoned as a medical treatment for a while. Sorry, that is outside.
There's a lot of background noise.
Is it my wind?
I think it might be.
That's what I was thinking.
Did she disappear?
Oh no, not again.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
Okay, good. Can you see me?
No. Yep.
Some yes,
Yeah.
some no. I see
No.
Eileen and
Yeah.
Amanda, but
I can see you. I'm sorry,
yeah.
there was a bug. I was just swiping the bug away.
There you Mandy go. Is just a logo, and the other 4 are just +4. maybe if I click in that floor, I can see you. It'd be nice to alternate between you all. I got no options for that. It's just the way it is. I have to accept it. Okay. Well, we'll continue on. Where were we? The fall of Rome? Yes, the Middle Ages, Dark Ages. So during that time, massage was kind of associated with Satan, and it was not looked on fondly. So it was not used much as medical treatment. But then Greco-Roman culture was preserved by its spread into the East, so Persia, which is now Iran, other parts of Asia and Africa. So massage started spreading around the Levant out in that area. And so even though the Europeans were poo-pooing touch like that, it was still preserved as a tradition. Razi, who was a Persian writer, wrote an encyclopedia of medical practices. And then Avicenna wrote the Canon of Medicine. So it became really enshrined in medical literature by these ancient doctors who were writing. And then in the Renaissance in Europe, 1450s to 1600s, medical fields started embracing massage again. They were up for trying something new. And massage was taught in schools of higher learning along with anatomy, physiology, and pathology. So it was common in universities to learn massage during the Renaissance.
Hey,
then,
real quick, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Is your mic on anything? Because I hear it echoing. I don't know if you have it set down on the table or anything.
It's on a tripod. I've got my other phone close by. If I put it further away, does that change it?
I think it's when you come closer to the mic that it starts getting louder.
Oh, okay. So that it starts getting too loud?
Not loud, just like it gets scratchy.
Okay. So this is a good distance?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. This is like dry stuff. I don't want to get too dry, but some historical points of interest, I guess, in massage's history were that there was a guy in the 1700s, John Grosvenor, Grosvenor, who invented, or he invented a modality, right? What he called chirurgy, Chiurgy. And that was basically massage therapy, his own technique. Per Henrik Ling, you know about from the Swedish movement cure fame. He is the one that we call the father of physical therapy and medical gymnastics. And he was in the 1700s as well, late 1700s, like 1776 is when he was born, to 1839. So just over that transition of the decade there. Transition of the century. Okay, and then Matthias Roth was the physician who studied from Ling. And he treated Charles Fayette Taylor, who was from New York. So that's how massage came to the United States. In the 1800s, we have the new terminology from the French language that came in because Johann Metzger, who was Dutch, founded the kind of scientific massage genre by giving it specific terms and like writing about them, studying the different techniques by name. And then he coined those terms that we use today: effleurage, petrissage, tapotement, massage. All these terms are from French, thanks to Johann Metzger. And so after his work he was Dutch, so in Amsterdam, what's the country? Dutch, Norway, right? Gosh, I should know that. I feel silly, but anyway, if I think of it later, whatever. Just gonna let it go. Germany, Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, after that time period, like in the 1800s, all of those countries, the physicians would begin recommending massage as a treatment. So then that took us into the United States, and after World War II, it became popular again. It started rising in popularity in the later part of the century here, or beginning of the last century. So after like a while, in the 1900s, in the United States, the use of massage declined again because a lot of people were abusing it within education and the profession. So, and there was also like the electricity, the electric vibrating machines were invented. So vibrators became part of medical treatment as well. So they would use them and not feel like they had to do any special massage manual techniques besides that. And then in more recent years, there have been all these different modalities that come up through different people. So the Emerald Vader manual lymphatic drainage massage, it's called lymphatic massage or lymphatic drainage massage. Elizabeth Dickey, something like that, was the one who brought, okay, let me see if I can do it without my help. Bindegewebsmassage from Germany, connective tissue massage in Germany. James Syriax is the one who's famous for cross fiber friction, Syriax. So he did deep transverse friction, especially for relieving scar tissue from adhesions. And then Tapan's healing massage techniques and Beard's massage are still used today. This is in an old PowerPoint. I don't know those books. I'm not too familiar with them, actually. So I'm sorry. So that's something I can't speak to, but if you want to look them up, Tapan, T-A-P-P-A-N, healing massage techniques, and Beard's, like Beard's massage. And then starting in the after the war, especially World War II, for rehabilitation for soldiers, then massage became more popular again. So it started helping with injured veterans, and so never kind of left after that. In the 1960s until today, it just has been rising in popularity. It increased, some of the factors that caused the increase are that traditional Western medical medicine, the traditional, what do you call it? It's traditional sounds like the opposite, but conventional Western medicine prices have gone up ever since, and so massage is kind of an easier preventative and a less expensive way to maintain your health, so you don't have to use conventional medicine. It created, people in our culture have created a wellness model of looking at the whole person as somebody who might need something like that sometimes. So it's just become more common in our way of thinking. And the psychological benefits of massage have been proven, of beneficial touch. So people really understand that it's something that we all need. And then with chiropractics also increasing in popularity, it's become kind of merged with chiropractic in a lot of ways. The chiropractor will adjust somebody's bones, and then we will adjust somebody's muscles. Since the 1970s, there have been an increased number of massage schools. The AMTA was created, the Massage Therapy Journal was published, and there was a lot of increasing numbers of bodywork styles. So all of that has developed since the 1970s. It wasn't regulated yet by the government, but it was still an organization. So there were some resources you could have, like magazines, trade journals, ways to find out about continuing education and support. So it was a community long before it was regulated. And then in the 1980s, ABMP was created, and the International Massage Association. The Massage and Bodywork and massage magazines emerged as new trade journals also. Starting in the 80s, 10 states regulated massage back then, and it became known in the Summer Olympics in 1984. And then chair massage was developed by David Palmer. So chair massage is a good invention for massage because it is drastically increases the ways people can see you out in the world to highlight what you do. Because our profession has been shrouded in secrecy in a way because we treat one person at a time in a closed room. So we don't usually get seen while we're working, and that causes questions in people's minds. They don't know what to believe. What they've heard stories, they don't know what goes on in there, right? So having a chair that you can pop up and it just folds out and you set it up in the middle of a hair salon or in a gym or on a sidewalk or a party, all kinds of places, you can pop up your chair and then do some 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute massages for people. And people will feel how good it is, how beneficial it is. They'll get a sense of your energy. Are you a calm person and they just feel calm around you? You could even have music playing, depending on if it's an environment where it could be reasonable to play music. Then you can give them a sense of that experience. It's a little bite-sized sample massage, but it's wonderful for people. They'll be amazed at how much more relaxed they feel after just 5 minutes on your chair. So that's going to sell massage to them. They'll understand, oh, you are actually doing this with some training and intention, and it feels wonderful. So I want more of that. And then they can come book a massage with you. So ever since that, in the 90s, it started becoming a lot more popular, and there was a lot more emphasis on grants for research. So Tiffany Field, creating the International Touch Institute, really has contributed a lot. If you go on PubMed, where you can look up, what do you look up there? Research studies, the white papers on science behind certain things. You can look for any topic in there, but if you type in massage, you'll see a lot of Tiffany Field's work in there. Some other people are doing it now too, but she's one of the main ones who's really done a lot. And then the NCBTMB began administering a national certification exam. So that's the exam I took. It's now the MBLEX for Illinois, but you could still take the national board. It's a good thing to have, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can massage legally anywhere. The United States is kind of funny. We have some things that are national and some things that are state, and we have some things that sound like they're both, but they're not. So this is one of those things, because I have a national certification exam, and I could get a national certificate, but still each state is going to want to have you registered in their state. And so you have to pay them a fee and get your, insurance expanded to that state and stuff like that. So I wish it was just like you can have a mobile trailer studio and just drive across the country and massage all along the way. You can't really do that legally. So just so you know. Anyway, the NCBTMB started in the early 90s, and state regulation of massage increased. So then it became, out of all the complementary and alternative medicine modalities used, it's the third most popular one. Might be, I don't know what it is, if it's like chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. Actually, I don't know what the top three are. I'll have to look that up. Maybe somebody else will look it up and post it. So it looks like now we are still increasing in popularity and availability. So more and more spas, chiropractic offices, physical therapy offices, wellness clinics, gyms, private practice practitioners. We're just blowing up everywhere. So you can find massage in so many different settings, including hospitals for mobile medical massage. So it's increasing everywhere, and it's actually kind of exciting because you can choose which way you go with the career. You can decide if you want to be focusing on a certain demographic. I only want to work with professional athletes, ideally. So I'm also going to focus a little bit on high school athletes and maybe see if I can get in with some local teams, find out where they get their massages and go work in there and get some connections. Find out what you can do to get you towards the goal you want. Who's your ideal demographic? We'll think about more of that later on when we get to Module 4, business plans, but something to start churning in the back of your mind. Who are your people? Who are you going to massage? So the 5 basic systems now that we base other things on are Swedish, German, French and English, Chinese, and Japanese. There are other styles as well. I'm also a Thai yoga massage practitioner, so I like to do Thai massage, and I've incorporated a lot of those techniques into my table work, my Swedish work, even though I do a Thai massage on the floor. So some things I can transfer over to a table and some things don't. But then I can also tell people if they like a certain thing, oh, that's from Thai massage. You might like to try an actual Thai massage sometime. Here's my leaflet about that. Some other beneficial systems, we'll talk a little bit about a lot of these, which is just a list right now: sports massage, polarity, Traeger method, Rolfing, reflexology, touch for health, neuromuscular techniques, craniosacral therapy, and there are many others. It's actually such a big world of techniques out there. There's no way I could just make a definitive list for you. You'd have to just keep gathering things as you hear about them, because they're all out there and there are many. So that's a good start. How are we doing on time?
Time, it's 1:30.
I was gonna say it's 1:37.
Okay, cool. Well, I would like to talk to you about one thing I'll do, just read a little bit from a certain book I have, because I want you to see how it is to dig deeper into a specific technique. So we talked about Dr. James Syriac's. For what kind of technique was he famous? Anybody remember?
I'm sorry,
Yep.
what was
Who did you just say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Where I'm asking about Dr. James Syriac's. What was his famous technique? Anybody remember?
Nope.
Syriac's. Cross
She's giving us a hint. I know we're not catching it, but she's giving us a hint.
Was it reflexology?
The lymph
Was it
massage?
reflexology?
Deep transverse friction.
Yep, that's the one. Deep transverse friction. So I heard a lot of guesses.
There you go, Amanda!
There you go, man.
I got one right.
So Siri acts with the deep transverse friction. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit about this from a textbook, Therapeutic Massage, by Dr. Russ Turchanov. Oh, Ross. I've been saying his name wrong. Ooh, Dr. Ross. Okay. So this guy is a physician who also does medical massage, and he is based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I used to live in the Valley, so I always look for an excuse to go back and visit Phoenix.
Of course you did. You have the greatest life.
I know, I love my life. Thank you. So it's a nice place if you ever have a chance to go. And if you want to take any classes in massage, there are tons. My other favorite teacher from there is teacher Jimmy G. And he teaches really inexpensive classes. Like you could do a day for $40 at one of his classes and get some continuing ed points. And he's a wonderful teacher. So anyway, I recommend him too. But I did a class in December with Dr. Ross, and it was for medical massage. And it's mind-blowing, like 3-day workshop where I just filled my brain over capacity, and I have to learn all this stuff by reading his books and his website, reading my notes, watching it again, just to try to absorb it all. And you actually have to take his intro class twice at least to be able to get certified. So eventually I'll be certified in medical massage, but I'm working on it. But this book, thank you. So this book is just the basic therapeutic massage. He's got a couple about medical massage that are like 4 times thicker than this, but it has some good stuff. And I'm going to read you a little bit about Dr. Syriac's friction, because he's done a lot of research about all of the different strokes, like especially Russian massage, because he's from Russia originally. So it's really cool and interesting. And some of the work he's found, his wife has translated for him. Like, it wasn't even ever written down in English before. So he's done original research on a lot of the strokes. I think it's really interesting.
That's neat.
Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture while I read, so you can look at the illustration here. Dr. Cyriax developed a technique of strong friction that goes in a direction perpendicular to the prominent orientation of collagen fibers in the tendon or myofibrils in the muscles. All right, so I'm gonna go back to that. It's just one sentence.
I say, yeah.
Rich sentence. So in your muscles, you've got a muscle from here to here, and it's gonna attach.
Wait, hold on. I can't see.
Yeah, I can't either. Is it here to here?
All right.
I was gonna say you're using the wrong arm.
Let's do bicep. All right. So it attaches here and here. You can feel it.
Yep.
Okay. So in the middle is the muscle belly.
Yeah.
And at the ends are tendons.
Yeah.
As tendons connect muscles to bones.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a difference between tendons and ligaments. Does anybody know what it is?
I just have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so when people usually get injuries, and it's like under here, or it's in the I can't do it, but like right here.
The axilla, the armpit.
Yeah. So are those tendons or are those ligaments? I can feel it. I can't tell you what I'm feeling, but it's like I don't know.
Right. There's some of each, and it just depends on exactly where it is, what is specifically is hurting on them.
Is one gonna be harder than the other when you like what do I want to say?
Generally, yes.
Try and feel it and I guess distinguish what is what.
Yeah, generally the end where the tendon or ligament are is going to be really tight. That's the hardest, thickest, least stretchy part. And then the muscle fibers themselves are usually softer and more stretchy. But they could be really hard if there's a lot of tension built up in it. So ligaments have the letter L in them, ligaments. And this is also the word like. Ligaments attach like things. So that's muscles to muscles. Ligaments like.
Ligaments like.
Yeah. Muscles to muscles. So tendons attach muscles to bones. That's the other kind.
Hold on.
Might want to write that down.
I was going to say.
Pro
Give me
tip.
Give me 1 second.
Repeat that one more time.
Flashcards.
Ligaments, muscles to muscles. Tendons, muscles to bones.
Yep. That's it. You got it. Muscles to muscles is like ligaments.
Ligaments.
Okay, you got it. So, in a muscle, the name of the collagen fiber that you're looking for is myofibril. Myo means muscle, so it's a prefix in your. You want to do a flashcard on this one? A prefix for your medical terminology that means muscle. MYO. Myo.
Myo.
So a
you said MYO is muscle?
Yep. So if you have myofascial release, that means it's going to be releasing the fascia of a muscle, right? Myofascial release.
So do most people just use myo instead of muscle?
It's only like it's a Greek word, so it's only going to be in medical terminology usage, and it's a prefix, so it usually goes with something else. It's not really like you wouldn't just use it interchangeably with the English word muscle. You don't use it that way, but you'll see it a lot in terminology for medical massage.
Yeah, eventually it'll just show us when to use it, when not. Okay.
Yep. So those are in muscles, myofibrils.
Fibrillous,
Myofibrils are the muscle ones. In the tendon, they're called collagen fibers. That might make more sense to you in English, collagen fibers. We know it's a dense, harder kind of cell, and it's going to hold things together. Collagen fibers are in the tendon, and myofibrils are in the muscle. And then they're going to be laying in some direction of that muscle where that muscle's fibers lay. So in the same direction as what I'm doing right now, going in the direction of the collagen fibers and the myofibrils. But if I wanted to do perpendicular to the myofibrils and the collagen fibers, I would do this way. myofibrils.
Rebecca,
Collagen
could you show
fibers.
us the other arm because you're cut off on our screen?
Oh,
Amanda
yeah.
was trying to look like your phone was gonna move with her.
I'm like,
She
all
was
right, come on, Rebecca.
It does that on my laptop, but not on this phone. Okay, so this is in the same direction as the myofibrils. This is in the same direction as the collagen fibers. This is in a perpendicular direction to the myofibrils. This is a perpendicular direction to the collagen fibers in the tendons. Yeah, Ellie.
So what you're saying is that like the collagen is gonna be more towards your wrist, and
Yeah,
then the
'cause that's in a
myo is gonna.
More
Got you.
towards the tendon.
Yep.
Got you.
Yep. Collagen fibers are in the tendons. Myofibrils are in the muscles. Good. All right. So now I'll read the sentence again and see how much more you understand it. Dr. James Syriacs develops technique of strong friction in a direction perpendicular to the predominant orientation of collagen fibers in the tendon or myofibrils in the muscles. Made sense, right?
Yeah.
Pretty close?
Pretty close.
Like
Better.
98% sense? That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're getting there. You're getting there. Okay. The main target of Syriacs' friction is connective tissue structures where tension is developed as tight fibrotic bridges between the skin and the fascia. So there's tension that's developed because there are fibrotic bridges between the skin and the fascia. Skin, fascia. And between them, those bridges are tight. They're short. So if there's a layer of fascia and a layer of skin, the little bridges between them are shortening. They're pulling tighter and tighter. So it's a shorter space between them. You can see this on some people's backs kind of easily, like especially if you can't really do it easily, but pretend like this is somebody's back. And you put your fingers down in a line on the skin and you push down and forward a little bit. And on my forearm, it's not going to do it at all. But sometimes on somebody's back, you'll see a dimpling, like it's called orange peel sign, because it looks a little bit like the skin of an orange, little inward dimples that poke down. It looks like the hair follicles are indented. So when that happens, if it's doing that, that means the fibrotic bridges are short.
Do you see that
One more
often?
time. One more time.
It means the fibrotic bridges between the skin and fascia are short. Orange peel sign. So we'll learn about it more in assessments, but this is one of the assessments. You'll see it later, but it's a way to see on the surface that these layers, the fascia beneath and the skin here, are connected by tiny little fibrotic bridges. And that's fascia too. If you've ever done a dissection, you've seen it when you have to cut. It's disgusting, but between parts of the underlying tissue and the skin, there's going to be that white stringy fascia.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so those are fibrotic bridges. Those are usually longer ones, but there's tiny ones that hold your skin down because it's hard to even get it up at all. Actually, I'm pinching the up here. I can do it. Down here, I was pinching the subcutaneous layer also, but up here, I can kind of get it loose enough. Just skin, but it's still hard to pull much of it up.
Rebecca, what did you say causes that? The shortening of the
I said
bridges?
tension. Yeah, it comes from many sources, so it's hard to
Overuse
just,
of a muscle, weightlifting. Okay.
yeah, even emotional tension can cause it.
Okay.
Our
And it
bodies
can be
keep
in
the
any
score of everything
muscle.
that happens to us. What?
Okay. It can be in any muscle of the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it can happen between the skin and the fascia, but it can also happen between layers of muscle. It can happen everywhere. So if somebody's in a wheelchair for a long time and they're not using their legs at all of those fascia are connecting and getting shorter and shorter and pulling. They're not getting used and stretched. So it's always good to stretch and move the body's tissue around, even if they're not even if they're not able to use it. Still a good idea to move it around.
Okay.
So is that why with people who are handicapped, is that why the muscles or the how do I pronounce it?
Atrophy.
Is that why their legs look
Muscular
so?
atrophy.
Yeah, muscular atrophy. And it's not
Yeah.
just the muscle, it's the muscle and the fiber inside of it, and the tendons and the ligaments and all of the fascia. If they're not moving it and using it regularly like they would be able to, then it's going to get shorter and smaller.
Oh, okay.
Does that kind of go with the theory of disuse syndrome?
Disuse syndrome, that would be like not using something and it also atrophies.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's the same reason.
Okay.
Lennon is here helping me.
Lennon's cute.
Hi, Lennon.
This is my rag doll. He's just baby.
He's super cute.
Loving. He's very loving.
With his anti-hunting collar on, so it makes him very fancy. And keeps him from killing quite as many. He's like a murder floof, you know. Little cute psychopathic murderer. All right, so the sentence that I read before, I'm going to read it again. We still have a few more words to learn at the end of it. Before I finish that sentence, the next word besides fascia, we already know that word, is aponeurosis. APONEUROSIS, aponeurosis. And an aponeurosis is an area of connective tissue that's collagenous, that would be connecting a big area of muscles together. So it's going to be a ligament that connects like across the lower back, for example. If you've ever seen a diagram of the lower back, there's a big diamond-shaped white spot of muscles, if you've seen a muscular diagram. So that diamond shape of muscle that's white is because it is actually the ligaments that connect everything across the lower back.
And can you spell that word again?
Yeah, it's APON or APONEU ROSIS, aponeurosis. So if you've ever heard the word neurosis, it's same as that.
And you said that it was basically the ligaments that connect everything together on the lower back.
Yep, that's one of the places. There are some other ones. There are some across the wrists here. So this one is like a cuff for the flexors that keeps them down. Because if I have a muscle that goes from here to here and I flex my wrist, it should be like going straight across, right? But if it's holding it down here, it can't do that. So it holds it onto my arm. The flexor aponeurosis.
Is that
one on the back? For the extensors.
Is that why when you your wrist automatically just flops forward?
Is that why?
Yeah, well, like when you if you're just holding up your wrist and then you just relax the muscles in your hand, it automatically just flops forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to do with gravity more probably because.
Also too.
Yeah, this is just their relaxed state. They're more likely to do this when they're relaxed than this. They can't really do extension and relax.
Yeah.
So it just will curl automatically and then gravity will just flop it. Sorry, he's asking for lunch. Can you just put that out? All right. So we've got fascia, we've got aponeuroses to be plural. And we've got tendons. So we know that the tendon connects the muscle to what?
The muscle to the bone.
Yep. Tendons as muscles to bones. Yep. So we've got those. We've got periosteum. Does anybody already know that term?
I did a flashcard on it, but I don't remember it.
That's okay. Periosteum is the lining around the bone. So the bone has a connective tissue covering that is around it that connects it to those tendons. So it's all connected. Everything is connected. And the muscles are surrounded by linings of connective tissue that form at the end of them tendons. And then those tendons, connective tissue turns into periosteum, Dr. Turchanov would say. And the periosteum goes right around the bone, so it connects it to the bone.
Is that similar to like the pericardium around the heart?
It's similar in that they both use Greek prefix called peri, which means around.
Okay.
Yeah, good question, Christine. Hi, nice to see you. You just showed
Yeah,
up on my
thank-
screen for the first time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the sentence again. Now you know most of these terms better, and you can imagine it better. So these tight fibrotic bridges is what we're talking about. Tension builds up in them, and then they shorten the fibers. So when this happens, the main point of Ceriax's deep cross fiber friction is to do a connective, this is the target, connective tissue structures where tension developed as a tight fibrotic bridge between skin and fascia, aponeurosis, tendon, or periosteum. Okay, so all those places you can have those tight fibrotic bridges tightening and shortening and pulling things closer together. So that's why it just feels so good to stretch. Like, just do it for a second. It's okay, I'll wait. Oh yeah, got a little neck crack in there too. That felt good. All right, so Dr. Ross Turchanov, let's get a clock check. Oh, we're about up at time. All right, forget about the theory. Let's do the practical. This is your homework for today, one of them, to wash your hands and practice some massage. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to talk about it as I do it. I don't know how that will go with things like the volume of the water. So let's see if I can attach, oops, sorry, clang, clang. I'm going to attach this camera to my sink. So you can watch me wash my hands. It's funny, right? Okay. Kind of see it's gliding down, isn't it? Okay. Last couple of minutes here. I would suggest trying this. I've got some sweet almond oil standing by for afterwards when my hands are really dry. I can massage it. I've also got my massage oil with CBD in it, so I can use that too if I want. I've got some soap. And I'm going to just do a hand wash. It's got to be at least 20 seconds. Might as well enjoy it, right? Yeah. And then I'm going to do some massage. The right temperature, we'll see. Got one of those pumps that find just the right spot to be able to pump it. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, it's better to save some water anyway while I'm lathering up. So this is just regular gliding, right? Just gliding at a light pressure. Superficial touch would be holding. Superficial gliding is gently going over the skin. And then I can also do some, this is like a parallel to the fibers of the muscles and tendons, the collagen fibers in the tendons and the myofibrils in the muscles. This is perpendicular. Okay, so parallel and perpendicular. I can do some focus on each finger. I can already tell my fingers want circular motions on the joints. So this is the only a couple in the thumb. So you got a proximal interphalangeal joint, or sorry, you've got just a MCP. What's that stand for? Metacarpophalangeal joint. Here we go. Between the metacarpal and the phalange, and then this is the interphalangeal joint. I've got MCPs, PIPs, and DIPs. So metacarpal phalangeal joint, proximal interphalangeal joint, distal interphalangeal joint, MCP, PIP, and DIP. MCP, PIP, and DIP. Usually when I'm doing a massage for people in my studio, I will do 3 circles, 5, 7 circles. I don't know, just some nice even number. If it's a person who really wants me to focus on their legs or their back or something else, and they don't really care if I focus very much on the hands, I'll just maybe do 1 just to get it kind of covered, so I save a lot of time that I can use on something else. All right, so I always like to do across the fingernails when I'm washing my hands because I want to make sure I got those clean. So that's always a good idea. I usually, if I'm out gardening or something, I use my little soft nail brush, get right in there. When you wash your hands to do a massage, you're going to be doing kind of a scrubbing in. So you're also going to go all the way up to your elbow. And this is a great time to do, I'm doing a compression between the posterior side of my hand, and then the fingertips are pushing against the anterior side of my arm, so I can glide and squeeze all the way up. And that feels really good. So I warm up my own muscles while I'm washing my hands so that it's going to take better care of me while I'm doing my massage. Do this afterwards too. And afterwards, I might start with some cold water to kind of soothe any inflammation or irritation after working a lot. You can also use your first finger, your thumb, to find that little groove in between the radius and the ulna. And then go all the way up and see how it feels. Where's a good spot to go over the top? I like it going right over the top of the joint capsule on the external side, lateral side. Feels really good there because that's the extensor, the common extensor origin. So all my extending muscles attach there. I always try to go over that with clients, over that with myself. Feels good. Wash the elbows. When you're doing a massage, you're going to use your elbows, so you want to make sure they're getting washed between every client. You're not going to transfer elbow germs. And then it also feels good when you're working on a client to get them some oil or cream or lotion right here, because they're always going to be dry right there. All right, pretty good. I'm going to wash my hands, rinse them off, I mean. So this is a homework you can do. Just take your time washing your hands today. You can tell people I'm practicing washing my hands, practicing massage. So you can take that time. In fact, teacher's orders, right? Sorry, gotta wash my hands. Again? Yep. All right, that's it for that time. So I'm gonna put some oil on my arms, but probably not on video because it is time, well past time. So thanks everybody for joining in. And
Thank you.
Give yourself a little arm massage, practice some of the stuff we talked about, and maybe want to listen again and get some of the terminology and stuff like that. All right. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
All right. See you.
Thanks.
See ya.
It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
All right.
Just 1 o'clock, not 11?
Just 1 o'clock. We'll do, I think Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do 2 calls. The rest, just 1. I think that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Yeah.